stuff like that, and you start to get into the chemical processes and physical processes which could be affected by it being an actual application rather than just a model. I believe some of the stuff would have made sense in a vacuum, but when you take into account atmospheric conditions, that could affect it.
Atmospheric conditions.
Well, yeah, that's just an example. Anyway, do you have citations for all this stuff?
Yeah, there's links to all kinds of this stuff on our website, as well as very technical papers by very credible people on the left side of the website in the lower section called Technical Papers. There's probably 10 or 20 papers. Most of those come from the Journal of 9/11studies.com, which are peer-reviewed papers that address each of these different issues. Free fall speed through 80,000 tons of structural steel, aluminum-rich spheres and iron-rich spheres in all of the World Trade Center dust found by the EPA themselves. The pulverization of all of the concrete in the building. We're talking, I forget how much concrete there is, but does anybody know offhand? It's an incredible amount of concrete. The 110 floors of acre-sized floors that are completely missing at the bottom of the building. All of these facts are documented very well in long papers full of technical jargon, but backed up with footnotes as well. So I encourage you to take an investigative look rather than say, this is just jargon and I don't believe it, so I'm going to say it doesn't exist. This is what we're all faced with initially, and I encourage you to go the next step and not be, and find your courage to do just that. Next one. No, you can ask another question. Well, hold on, what?
Gold is supposed to be in the bottom.
Gold. Well, you can ask another question about the gold if you want to get in line. I'll let you take that question. Go ahead.
The thing is, I'm not just an ostrich with my head in the sand here.
Okay.
I'm trying to be investigative, and just because I don't believe you doesn't mean that I'm ignoring your point. I'm listening. I came and I listened for the whole thing.
I honor you for doing that. In fact, I think it's incredible. Everybody else here with the same predisposition that this can't possibly be true. I realize we're all going through different levels of adjustment in our own minds about this story.
Well, adding to that, I don't think very few people actually came here skeptical about the original argument that 9/11 was fire. I mean,
well, that's why I do the show of hands.
Yeah.
And I think we had, could somebody remind me, 2,000 people in this room that raised their hands saying, I believe fire brought the building down.
I think most of them left, honestly.
How many are here? That's a great question. How many are here who, still here, who raise your hand pretty much believing that the fires brought the building down? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So your point is well made. There's 5 out of, I think, 20, 24. Do you have one final question?
No, that's it. It's just, I'm not trying to bring everyone down, as someone suggested. I just still, after the 2 hours of being here, I don't see why I should believe you any more than I should believe the original report.
Go read the report. Thank you.
Wasn't easy for any of us, man.
I encourage you to stay in the back of the line and ask some specific questions too. I really will try to address them. Thank you so much for showing up. I'm incredibly impressed. And I hope all young people will be willing to at least come and hear the evidence as you have. I honor you.
About your performance on the recent Richard Syrett show, debating Ron Craig, and are you going to accept Hardfire's invitation to debate, or is it they want you to debate?
Well, fascinating.
Yeah, well, I posted the unedited version of the debate on 911blogger.com.
Yeah, there was a debate, and CFRB Radio Toronto, which broadcasts throughout the East Coast, aired in 2 hours with myself and an explosives expert, not a demolition expert, but explosives expert, and we had a very interesting discussion about this, and you can go to 911blogger.com and listen to this 2-hour debate. In fact, I encourage the young man you'll hear a lot more. I address specific questions that he addresses, and I ask him specific questions, and it's very, very interesting and lively. And I felt good about the debate. That was your question about that, right?
Hardfire
Yeah.
is supposedly, according to some
Now-
posts that I've seen, they want you to debate somebody. That,
Hardfire wants me to debate?
yeah, if you want to get some more information, I don't know the guy's name. I mean, they keep saying, he's got to debate this guy.
Well,
He's got to debate him. They get angry. So,
Hardfire is mainstream CNN?
no, I think that's a different
That's
one.
Crossfire.
Yeah, it's Crossfire.
What's Hardfire?
The Loose Change Boys guys or whatever
Hardfire.
debated on that particular show.
Yeah, thank you. Hardfire is run by a gentleman named, I forgot his name. He keeps emailing me and asking me to debate and calling me a chicken because he says this is a 9/11 fantasy movement. What he wants to do is set me up, and there's no moderation whatsoever, and it's a complete trap, really, of dishonest individuals, which I want nothing to do with. I will debate honest individuals, mainstream media, anytime. So that's a debate.
I wanted to get your comments on the recent insinuation that your website is spreading terrorist ideology.
Well, thank you. What this gentleman is saying is true. There was a House committee hearing, if that's the correct term, in which Jane Harman, her congressional congressperson, congresswoman, held, and Mark Weitzman from the Simon Wiesenthal Center for Tolerance gave a presentation on all these websites that are proposing jihadic and militant action against the United States. And sandwiched in there is my website. In an insinuation, defamatory insinuation, that we're somehow a terrorist organization or promoting violence or against our government in some way. We are for the truth. And 200 architects and engineers is incredible. And we of course, don't have any violence whatsoever in any of our sections of our website. We just simply want the truth. And so we are responding through a different graduated series of remedies to deal with this. We'll be writing them a letter, and we are also consulting an attorney about this.
I know that your area of expertise is architecture and engineering, but I want to ask you this question because I like to ask you 9/11 truth subject experts, and it has to do with World Trade Center 7, and specifically with the fact that it seems like there's a lot more for them to have to explain, simply because we did get to see World Trade Center 7 fall down with an unobstructed view, in other words, 7 hours after the other towers. And I was wondering why, considering that there was at least a few minutes when it was pretty much concealed by the pyroclastic flow and the pulverized concrete dust from the collapse of the North Tower, when it wasn't brought down at that time, if it was in fact controlled demolition.
Yeah, excellent question. Most people who looked into this theorize, and it's only a theory, we don't know. We want a real investigation to find out why Building 7 wasn't brought down at the right time when it was obscured by the dust from the collapse of World Trade Center 1. That was a joke. Blew up the World Trade Center, Twin Towers. Or, what's the other one?
High energy space beams.
Oh, beams, high energy beams, either from outer space or from some other source. There's very little evidence to support these theories, and I'm not saying that the investigations to those should be shut down. I'm simply suggesting that as architects and engineers, and I think the mainstream 9/11 truth movement should stick to real solid facts that we have here and move forward with it and let go of what we can't support.
I do chemistry, so thank you for that X-ray data, but that really has nothing to do with my question. I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Oh, shucks. I probably couldn't answer your question.
Probably don't like it. No, my question is simply this: assuming that what you presented here is true, and the terrorist attacks.
9/11. Ron Paul is one.